So hi, welcome to the Good Noise Podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm Glory.
And we're here with...
My name is Damon. I'm from Of Virtue. How you guys doing?
And we're going to ask them some questions today about their new single, Sinner. So congrats on that, by the way. How do you feel about the response to it so far?
To be honest, a little, I would say taken aback, but in a very good way.
Good.
Just because it's a super dynamic song. It's probably one of the most vibe heavy, just very emotionally dense tracks, but not in the way that people would probably think of us, because people think of us as a heavy band, but now it's okay, we're introducing a little bit more of this kind of stuff, but I haven't seen anything bad from it, so that's especially with the internet nowadays, that's definitely a good
True
thing.
Yeah.
Dude, when your publicist sent this over, I was fucking blown away. I was like, this shit is intense. It's fucking great. This song is so good.
Thank you.
So obviously, the single's out now. Is it going to be on an EP that's coming up sometime this summer?
Yeah, we're working on something. It's definitely going to be a part of a larger project. So
all right,
this is, as I've said to everybody else, this is phase one of many.
So since there is something bigger, want to pick your brain about it for a second. Obviously, we're going to dive into the single super deep in just a minute. But what can you tell us about this larger project?
There's going to be a lot of songs.
Okay.
There's going to be a lot of really good songs. If you like Sinner, then you'll be happy. If you don't like Sinner, you'll also be happy.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Best of both worlds.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And that's the greatest thing too, is we got so many, like everybody else, man, we've been sitting here during the pandemic, kind of twiddling our thumbs. We're not able to tour. So in the meantime, you just kind of hone in, you look at, all your whole catalog or things that you wish you would have done or want to do, instead of then making up the point of well, we'll just keep doing this. Hey, why not just try it now? Because once everything does get back going again, you know how it goes. The train doesn't stop.
True.
For sure. True. And because Shane got to say his 2 cents at the beginning, I loved the track. It was immaculate. I listened to it 4 times. I really, really enjoyed the track.
Thank you. I appreciate that a lot.
Mm-hmm. So is there any meaning behind the track title or cover
art? Yes, actually. So Sinner, all of this is kind of we just took a lot more of the religious imagery. The cover, our buddy Simon did an excellent job of this. So it's kind of a conversation between yourself, having that internal dialogue. We wanted that to be manifested in the actual artwork. As far as, again, the title itself, it's we all have secrets. We all have things that, we probably don't show the regular public, or things that we don't even want to acknowledge ourselves. It's that kind of hard truth that, all of us in some way, shape, or form, we have to live with. And eventually you're either going to let it consume you, or you're going to find some way to kind of seek some absolution for those things that you're not proud of. So,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. So can you tell us a little bit about your writing process for this single?
Oh man, this was probably one of the most interesting, because again, with this song, if I remember correctly, we wrote this around March last year, 2021.
Mm-hmm.
And so Mike, Tyler, and myself, we hadn't been in a room together in probably over 7 months.
Jeez.
Because we're located in Michigan, so we had a lot of really harsh mandates and lockdown procedures. So, we would get on the phone, we would talk and this and that, but there's something, special about actually being able to be in the same room as you or your counterpart or anything else, and just vibe off of each other. So we had been writing music with a bunch of friends online and just passing ideas back and forth. Our buddy Evan, we had worked with him before. So we're you know what, when the restrictions are lifted a little bit more, we all drove out to Cleveland, took no ideas with us, just honestly just hung out. It's we're all best friends, but you kind of, when you haven't seen each other in a while, you're hey, nice to see you. How are you doing? A lot of stuff had gone through over that time. Got to the studio. Evan's hey man, we haven't seen him in, almost a year. So it's it just kind of felt like a big hangout. Back in the day, I tell everybody this, when you start your first bands and you just show up with the backpack, with the amp that you can hold like this. And no, dude, for real. It's crazy. And we just got in there. We're all right, cool. We're here to write a song. We're here to do a job, but it's just like, we were just having fun with it. So we just started queuing up plugins, just sounds. I remember Mike was like, hey man, I'm feeling something, kind of LeBrock or the Midnight kind of 80s synthwave type deal. And just started just loading stuff up. And eventually it's just like, it just kept getting weirder and weirder and weirder.
Yeah.
And it was the closest thing I could probably put to like actual magic, like creative magic. I haven't felt that in a very long time. And we have a lot of great songs, done a lot of great things, but it's one of those where it takes you back to like the infancy of like the purity of why you play music in the first place.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's good.
And obviously, like, I love that you guys kind of treat it as like one big hangout, because like sometimes that is like when the best songs come about, when you're just kind of like fucking around and then you're like, oops, we have an album now, or something along those lines,
Oh, absolutely. And even just to piggyback off that, it's like this whole thing was like, don't go in there with any ideas, don't try to force something. Just again, what are you feeling? Oh, I've been jamming this out, I listen to Rez or I Prevail or some Joyner Lucas, hip hop, whatever it is, pop. We're just vibing, we're just having fun. Like, we probably spent the first 3 hours of that session just talking, hanging out, enjoying each other's company. Like, I would even say, I've probably taken a little bit of that for granted with, how the world was working in its regular format. But like, it's like, take a step back, realize that music, especially in, like, I would even just say like the United States or in, first world nations as a whole, it's a privilege to be able to do this. It isn't like, there's not a lot of places that have the ecosystem, that have the economic infrastructure to be able to support people doing something that they want to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we like, this conversation got brought up too, and it just like, it really brings everything full circle. And it's like, okay, now we can go and kind of pour everything into it, because you realize like at any given moment that thing can be taken away from you, and it still is for a lot of people. So it's a special thing. It's crazy.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. I actually want to go back to the earlier stages of your writing process for this track. You mentioned that you guys tried to do it just completely digital, each in their own house or whatever, before you guys finally came together. Did any of those songs that you guys put together separately, like, make it onto this possible project that you're releasing later? Or was it all scrapped for what you guys made in person?
Some of it did.
Okay.
It's one of those where like, it was more of just kind of just having fun, I guess, because when we send ideas back and forth, sometimes they're bad phone demos. Sometimes, I'm not the greatest like in-home engineer myself.
Yeah.
So a lot of it too, like, we're fortunate to have a lot of engineer and producer friends where like, hey man, can you kind of clean this up for me a little bit? But yeah, no, there was definitely a lot of stuff where it got used for the record. Some of it is just, you're just working out bugs and kinks. But again, I'd say it's probably like a solid 3 or 4 songs that probably made it just strictly based out of like the formats that we were working at with this. But then there's like another like 29 that still have to sift through a little bit. So.
Wow. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of downtime. There's a lot of boredom. There's a lot of me opening up Contact and just making stupid sounds.
Fair enough.
Hey, that's how the best songs come about.
Annoying everybody. They're like, why does he keep putting these military drums in every single thing?
Like all the drums.
Yep, they say, and then I move on to the synth, and then they get even more mad. So
it's amazing.
It is what it is. So hey, like I said, you just got to keep throwing until something lands. That's
exactly. Yeah. So I want you to tell us your favorite lyric off this track and the meaning behind it.
Oh, that's a good one.
Thank you.
Oh, I would say, okay, hold on. So the bridge, or not the bridge, the pre-chorus, when it's like, now my heart's not listening. I gotta remember my own lyrics. Oh, geez.
It's all good.
But you get caught in my dreams like a. Oh, I can't swear. Can I swear?
Yeah. You can.
Like a fucking disease. Yes.
Fuck
like
yes.
The point in the song where, like, can I dive into some of the lyrics? Is that okay?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's welcomed.
this one, like that specific part is the song for me. I internalize this in a way where it's like, I've been sober since 2007. This song deals with addiction.
Mm-hmm.
And this is kind of like the turning point of you actually taking it head on and realizing that this substance, this thing does not care about you. You treat it, like I said, where I use the religious imagery, you treat it like a god. You treat it like something that is beyond you, that is only here to serve you and, you know, bring you a better life, when that is the furthest thing from reality.
Mm-hmm.
And in this case, it's like right before you get to that big moment in the chorus where you're kind of like, you know, hey, really try to take that power back. It's like, there's always that switch. There's always that moment where you're like, okay, I can actually do this.
Mm-hmm.
I can actually, and I want to turn my life around. I want to help myself first before somebody else or anything else can come fill that void. So that would probably be my personal favorite lyric.
That's
a very good lyric.
And congratulations on your sobriety.
Definitely, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah.
It's a day at a time, like I tell anybody else.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So you definitely dove into it with the last question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Can you tell us kind of like where your headspace is at while you're writing this single?
And again, like kind of what I touched on before, where it was like, you know, we were just talking about anything and everything. It's like there was a lot of darker stuff that obviously came out of the pandemic as well.
Yeah.
And there were things that we probably learned about each other where it's like, you know, hey, I used to not talk about me being sober as like a talking point. When I would meet people, I would just let my past life be my past life,
Mm-hmm.
because, you know, you kind of want to move on from it. You don't want to be associated with it. You don't want people's first impression of you to be like, oh, you used to be an addict, or you used to be this, because unfortunately in our society, there is still a stigma with that.
Yeah,
definitely.
But in talking with a bunch of other people that I do care about, it's like, you know, that stigma is kind of always going to exist, but you need people to actually kind of break it down and make it normal to realize like, hey, we all mess up. We all make mistakes. We all come from different backgrounds and different situations that may or may not be our own faults, but we can at least do something to alter them around it for ourselves and maybe for somebody else. Because one of the beautiful connective tissues, I'm sure you both know with music, is like, we're sharing stories. You're sharing, whether it's tales of, you know, happiness or heartbreak or everything in between. You know, the reason I've been able to connect with some of my favorite artists over time and continue to grow with them over time is because, hey, they're human. They're not these, you know, a rock star is an image. It's still, you still got to wake up and deal with whatever you have going on in your life every single day. So for us to now go into this realm where it's like, we were pretty vulnerable before, but now every single song that you're going to hear has something to do with myself, Tyler, Mike, and something that we may not have wanted to talk about before, but we're going to put on wax so that it can help somebody, or at the very least, it's catharsis for us. So,
hell yeah.
Sure. That's very brave of all of you to finally just say, you know what, we're just going to write a song about it. We're going to share our stories and maybe it'll help somebody else. I know that's a very big step. I personally, I don't know if I would be able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, we've been a band for a while and, you know, we've dipped our toes into it. But again, it's like just looking around and like with everything going on and you know, with people being home, you know, the media kind of portraying everything what's going on with the nation, everything that's going on currently. It's like, you just need more of that loving, nurturing kind of energy. We need more of that. Like, hey, there's a ton of bad stuff, but just, we got you.
Yeah.
We're here. And vice versa. People are there for us as well. People are here to listen to us. It's not just this simple, you know, artist, fan, this kind of platform. We're all human beings at the end of the day. Yeah. It's like, you can sit down with me. I can sit down with anybody else. And it doesn't matter that I play in a band or you guys have an awesome podcast or anything else. It's like, you know, we're not doing this whole thing. We're just trying to lift everybody up at the same time. So
for sure.
Exactly. Love it. So how do you recommend your fans to listen to this track for the first time? Should they play it in the car with friends, dark with headphones on? Should they blast it at a party? Should they work out to it? What do you personally recommend?
Oh, this is one of those songs where I would actually I would probably say listen to it on your own.
Okay.
Just put some headphones on. Maybe if you're taking a walk, if you're at work, whatever you're doing where it's something where you can kind of block out all the noise and just be in your own space. Now, it is a song that I'm looking forward to when we play it live. And it's like, you can have everybody singing, you can have everybody doing this, but it's one of those where it's very there's some detail and some nuance that, you know, if you are with a group of friends or if you are around a bunch of other people, it might get lost to where, again, some of the messages and things that I've seen, it's just like, people are like, hey, I'm driving home at 2:30 in the morning and this thing just hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm like, that's awesome. That's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
So people can listen to it however they want. I would just say, take a moment for yourself, even if you're in the shower. That's the best time too. You can,
yeah.
So maybe somebody can take my place eventually. Just steal the mic. I'll go sit in the crowd and sing along myself. So
hell yeah. So this question should be super, super quick off the top of your head. I want you to describe the single for new listeners in 3 words, no more, no less.
Ooh, heavy, moody, emotional.
Fuck yeah.
Ooh, perfect. So in the same vein as the last question, is there a certain feeling or emotion you want this track to invoke in your listeners?
Want is kind of an interesting word. I would just say if it evokes any emotion, that's great. But it's going to be kind of, I always see it as more of like an introspective thing. It's something where you're going to, I guess, contemplative, or as long as it gets the gears turning, get you thinking. That's all I want. I just want people to feel something. I want you to just like really kind of think about yourself, really put your own life and put your situation kind of first and foremost, because we neglect ourselves. Like a lot of people do. We get busy and you try to help others, and then you forget that, you know, there's a reason why when you're on an airplane, they say, hey, secure your mask first before you do somebody else.
Definitely. So what band or artist influence do you think you can hear the most on this track, if any?
I wouldn't say a particular influence, just it kind of is all over the map, kind of, because again, when we were there, we were just jamming, just having fun. It's like some of this was born out of too. It's like Tyler and I have such differing vocal styles, but you know, in some ways, when it comes to the format of being a rock band or, you know, a heavy metal band, it's like you're kind of pigeonholing, like, all right, you have your main guy. Somebody might do some backups here and there, and it's like, no, we kind of wanted to explore a little bit more of like the sonic qualities. Like I have a smooth, like a little bit more smoother delivery. I love R&B. I love pop music, and I also love Tyler. Like Tyler has grown so much over the years since he's been with us as a vocalist, and he's just like, hey, let's just figure out how to make it work. Weave it in and out. We don't have to sacrifice either one of our styles. Like we can accommodate ourselves in a new way. So it's like, because I remember even when we listened to the track back for the first time, we're like, dang, can we really do this?
Yeah.
But that's the thing, is like when we ask that question, if you have to ask like, can you really do it? And you're like, and you don't see something like that in the sonic ecosystem, you're like, we might have something. We might have something here. True. And especially too, like, I mean, all the you can see this shirt right here. This band is the king of that.
Yeah.
Like, just don't care. Make whatever you want. Do whatever you want. If it's meant to connect, it's going to connect. So.
Hell yeah. And for our audio listeners, he's wearing a Deftones shirt.
Yes. One of the greatest bands on the planet. Greatest bands on the planet.
Yeah.
So for this question, I want you to picture you're on tour. You're at a gas station for a rest stop. You're going in. What is your snack of choice?
Oh, this is gonna be funny. I can't lie now. I can't. Depending on where we are at, it really depends. Okay. So for those who are not familiar with some of the gas station stops around the country or in other places of the world, so if we go down south and we go to this place called Buc-ee's,
okay, yeah,
I will be getting myself a sliced brisket sandwich.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yep. They have like this key lime pistachio pudding.
Oh.
None of these go together, by the way.
I was gonna say, yeah. It's a little odd, but you know.
They make their own jerky, you know, get something like that. If it's just like a normal gas station, I'll probably stick with just getting like an essential water. I might get a beef jerky stick or something like that. If I'm really just feeling zesty, you know, I can either steal a bag of Tyler's gummy bears that he'll come out with, or
all right, fair enough.
Something of the sort. Yes, it really depends though, because there's a lot of good places, and then sometimes I'm just like, oh, I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't do it.
So you called out like the big one in the South, but we're East Coast people. So like, what about Wawa? What do you get when you go there?
Oh my!
How do you feel about Wawa?
No.
Or how do you feel about that? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is another hot button debate here.
Oh no.
So, yeah, we have the Wawa versus the Sheets.
There's no competition. Sorry, continue.
I mean, there is though, unfortunately. See, I will say this: I'm not a Wawa guy. Can't do it. No,
we're gonna have to end this one here. Sorry.
Yeah, we're done. Strictly Wawa only.
We actually should start asking like at the beginning of every interview before we get started. Like, is it Wawa or Sheets? Because if it's Sheets, we're gonna let your publicist know we couldn't do it. You know? Something came up.
Yeah.
There's a technical. Trust me, I get it. I understand. And there's been a couple good Wawas. It's just we've been touring for a while, and consistently, I don't know. Sheet's been outperforming you guys. You get I don't know, budget cuts. Not sure what's going on there, but
okay, fair enough.
I disagree, but it's okay. It's okay.
The thing, see, I'm probably the wrong person to ask though, because like I have some super duper hot takes about like a lot. Like if you're going into like In-N-Out, Whataburger. All of like kind of like the fast food, like actually, you know what? I'm even put this on wax. In-N-Out is not that good. People.
No, it's not. It's not.
It's not that good.
I had it. No,
their fries are ass. The burgers are good. I like the burgers, but the fries taste like straight up cardboard. If you have to put they're like if you have to animal style your fries just to eat them, that's bad. That's bad.
You already lost. Yeah.
It's the same thing with barbecue. Like, I don't know what your opinion on this is. I'm more of a dry rub guy. I can deal with some sauces, but if that rib is not falling off the bone, if that doesn't have some bark to it,
exactly.
If it's not seasoned the right way, there's no amount of sauce that can cover up the fact that you just butchered that.
Yeah, for real.
Okay.
And same with Jack in the Box. I don't like Jack in the Box. How do you feel about it?
Nah, Jack in the Box overrated. Now I will say, I will cape for some Zaxby's.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, you lost me.
No, you better stop.
I had Zaxby's once, and they're like nuggets or something. They're the driest things I've ever had.
See, that's your problem. What you got to do when you go into Zaxby's, you just got to get the 5-piece tender meal. They're gonna get you with the Texas toast, the crinkle fries, the sauce. Oh, it's good. See, and you only went one time. That's the thing.
I went one time because I was hurt. I was hurt after that one experience. I was like, never again. I trusted you, and I couldn't do it. Look, I can't get burned anymore.
I'm telling you right now. Next time you go to Zaxby's, just you'll see a number one.
Okay.
That's like I would understand your point. It's like going to Burger King and getting a grilled chicken sandwich.
But it's like
it's just there's no point in doing it.
It's like their logo's a chicken though, so like anything chicken there should be good. It's like if I went to get a burger at Zaxby's, that would be like you're trying to fail.
But that's what I'm saying. You would think that, but they are still a fast food restaurant at the end of
the day. Yeah.
Like if we're being completely honest, anywhere that you go, I could talk we could talk about the greatest fast food places of all time.
Okay.
You're still a fast food place.
Bro.
Yeah.
There's still a margin of error that if you go to Taco Bell and you decide to get something that on their menu, you're like, I wonder who orders that, and then you order it.
There's a reason why it's not a staple.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
I think the only exception is like Panda Express. I've had like most of their things, and usually it's all been good.
Panda's pretty decent. Pretty decent. It's not the go-to, but if we're feeling just, a little extra zesty or just there's nothing else around, when it's hot, it's good.
Yeah. Yes.
I've unfortunately also gotten food poisoning from Panda Express probably more than any other restaurant in my entire life.
Oh my God.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Okay, that's a little worse than a dry nugget. So sorry about that.
It's okay. And you figure I would have learned my lesson by now, but I just realized like, look, maybe I'm too loving and just too accepting of, I'm in a different place. I'm in a different state. Maybe things will be different.
Yeah.
4 times.
4?
Holy shit!
4.
Are these all on like the road?
One was at a mall near us, and I probably should have known that I was going to get food poisoning. Mike was with me. We had to wait 20 minutes for the food, and then by the time we got it, we bit into it. He goes, "Does this taste a little funny to you?" And I'm like, I paid for it, I guess. Oh, bad. Just
no,
just bad.
All back out.
Yeah,
just throw it out.
Bad news later. And then the worst part about it is we were in the studio this was our Salvation record. So I'm just I'm in the tracking room with a hood over my head. Just our engineer's like, "Are you all right?" And I'm like, "No, I need to go
home
back to the hotel." I need to go home. I need to go home right now. You hit the nail on the head. Like, it was not a good time.
Oh, jeez. Well, we love food, so we have more questions about that. So on the topic of food, if the band was a dish, what dish would the band be and why?
If the band was a dish, oh no. I gotta think about this. The crazy thing is I almost want to say the chicken tenders with the fries. I would say overall, we're probably a sushi roll.
Ooh,
nice.
What roll?
So one of my favorites, I'm a big fan, just like I like to keep it simple. Either spicy tuna with avocado. You could get the imitation crab stick, like the crab stick in there. A nice eel roll. Ooh, that's always good.
Yeah.
Spice dragon rolls.
But
for us, you know what? I'm just gonna go. I'll go a little basic because sometimes we have our just basics moments. We can hit it with a nice California. Suits everybody. It's fresh. Keeps you energetic. You know, get the little wasabi. Don't be weird and put your wasabi in the soy sauce and make the weird sauce with that.
My boss
does
that.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm gonna show this to him. They're like, "Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. Just you get a little bit of the wasabi, you dip just a little bit. That's what you gotta do. Then don't ignore the ginger. Do not ignore the ginger, people.
That's the best part. Yeah.
It's the palate cleanser. And especially if you get the pickled ginger.
It's good.
Let's go.
Nice.
Let's go.
Oh,
perfect. Love that. So for these last couple questions, we're going to shift away from music, if that's okay with you.
Absolutely.
Boom.
Great.
Fuck. I was way early on that one.
Yes, interview's over. We're done.
We're done. So for these last couple questions, we're going to shift away from music and go straight to death row.
Boom.
So if you're on death row, what would your last meal be with a drink? You were like 30 seconds too early, dude.
Last meal with a drink. Oh, that's a hard one. You know what? Probably go with a nice tomahawk steak.
Ooh.
Bone in, just 20 ounces. Nice medium rare. Get myself a nice sweet potato casserole on the side, some green beans or asparagus. Probably a nice sparkling mineral water, something nice and refreshing. Nice. Maybe a lemon Perrier, something like that. That sounds good.
Hell yeah!
That is like the perfect dinner.
Then we're good to go. We're set, and then on that point, I can join the afterlife.
All right,
perfect.
So if you could live in one fiction world for a week, where would you live?
Ooh, a fiction world. That's a hard one. I know. See, I just watched Ready Player One. And like that environment that they were living, I was like, that's crazy. Or I don't know why I would want to live in like a post-apocalyptic world. Maybe I just want to test my like survival skills.
Exactly. It's only for a week. You just get to test it out a little bit.
Yeah. Or actually, you know what? We'll just go super duper nerd. I would want to be on King Kai's planet. I'm a Dragon Ball guy.
All right.
So I'd want to live with one of the Kais, the Supreme Kai.
It's perfect. All right. And I have the honor of asking the last question. Every single person we've spoken to has actually said it is the most important question.
Okay.
What is your favorite color?
This is a high bar.
It is.
My favorite color. All right. Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
What do you think my favorite color is?
Probably black.
Green.
You just got
It's
that
not.
answer.
No, my man. Oh,
Green?
See, look at that. I set it up too. That was perfect. I set it up.
I went right off the Deftone shirt.
Oh,
as you should.
See, I went the other way.
Mhm.
You.
I went with the color on the shirt. You went for the shirt color.
Yeah.
All right. Is it that specific shade of green, or is it a different one?
No, I've always loved green. I just like how it's vibrant, like a symbol of health in a way for me.
Mm-hmm.
And also a reminder to, stop eating Zaxby's and drink more of this spinach cucumber concoction I got going on in the background so that I can actually keep playing shows and be healthy.
All right. So as Gloria said, that's all the questions we have today. Is there anything that you would like to plug?
Sinners out. We got something else coming here very soon, so keep an eye out on our socials. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, the moon, the stars, the sun, everywhere else.
Well,
Other than that, man, I'm just happy to be back. I'm happy to be talking with you guys. Thank you again for having me, and can't wait to get back out there, meet you in person, have you guys come to a show, hang out.
Mm-hmm,
yeah,
definitely.
Sounds like a fun time. I'll bring you some Zaxby's because you hurt my feelings with that dry nugget bullshit. So yeah, we got to get that out of there.
All right.
We got to get that out of there. Just don't bring me any Wawas. I don't want none of that.
I'm bringing you so much Wawa.
Bro, I'll make you the best like hoagie ever from Wawa. I'll get you a hoagie. You'll love it.
Can you make a hoagie Can you make a hoagie at your house?
Yeah.
Gloria's
okay,
like
so make it
a part-time
make
chef
it at your
over
house,
here.
and then bring it. You can bring it to the show,
Okay.
and then you can lie. You can lie to me and say it's from Wawa.
What if I give you like 2 halves and one is homemade and the other one is Wawa, and then you decide which one's better?
The blind taste test. I like this.
Yeah.
I like it.
Okay, we'll do that. We'll
All
do
right.
that.
Well, thank you for now. This has been Damon from A Virtue, and we have been the Good Noise Podcast.